Yo, what do you mean when they say we came from grace and we fell from grace? What does that mean?
Well, like I was telling people, that's not our story. You know what I'm saying? Peace and blessings to all listeners. This is my born days, Apexxology 1. So I'm going to brief this lesson because I got to get out of here. But I got the planets up to remind y'all of our evolution, our solar evolution. When they tell you about the fall from grace, y'all hear this story in the Bible about God got his angel Michael, and they fought against the dragon, and 200 of his angels fell. I keep telling y'all that's their story. That's a story of the Anunnaki in negation. And as they translated things, they wanted us to believe that we fell from grace. We did not fall from grace. You're going to hear a lot of people say, oh, I'm blessed, I'm blessed. You been got blessed. You got blessed when you were curious and you wanted to come out of the bosom of all, and you wanted to explore down in planets. So what happened was each one of these planets has a solar god on it. These planets belong to a solar god. So when you came, I'm going to take it out of distance. When you came out of this nothingness, you just look at the screen, you came out of nothingness and you personified into one realm, into one dimension. That's a planet, Mercury. I'm going to share with y'all where y'all get your gifts from and when you get blessed. To get all the way down through these planets, all the way down to the earthly realm, to the 3D, you had to travel and continue to personify. Each planet you got on, you received gifts from a solar god. Mercury, you would get a gift. I'm just giving examples right now. Say if you got to Mercury and you got a certain gift, then you would have to keep traveling. You'll personify. Next Saturn, you get I think Mercury, you get courage. Saturn, you get the gifts of the rings of life. Each planet that you personify, each realm that you personify down to, is your solar evolution. Not because of sin, not because you fell from grace or none of that. That is not your story. They know your story came from this nothingness, and you personified onto another planet, and then to another planet, and then to another planet, and then to another planet, and to another planet. And when you hear people say I'm blessed because each planet you went to before you got down into this earthly realm, until you got into the earthly realm, each planet that you went to, you received gifts to know how to sustain yourself when you get to that 3D earthly realm. Those gifts were courage, they were skills, they were a gift of love. You had many gifts given to you by each god, solar god on each planet until you got to the earthly realm. You were given these gifts because you were going to go and explore. You had a doctrine that made you curious. You wanted to go out and now explore. So when you go into the unknown, you need courage and you need all other kind of things. On your ascension, that's your descent. That's when you descended down, not fell from grace. You didn't sin. You didn't know sin. You descended out of curiosity, out of nothingness. Out of all of this energy, you just personified down into another planet and got instructions on each planet. That was your fall, but not from grace. It was a fall to explore. You was going to go out now as an explorer, and you needed to be equipped. So you had to go through 7 realms. They show you this in the Kundalini. Anytime you see people doing their chakras or that spiritual picture that's supposed to be up with the 7 rings around them, that's representing each time you descended down, you got to a solar god who rules each of these planets. And all these planets, remember, were broken off and they were all one. But as they became broken, we split them up and divided the universe to the solar gods, and each of them had a planet. So once again, when you read the Bible and they talk about you fell from grace, the fallen angels, that is not your story. Yes, there were beings that fell from planetary wars into the planet that we put in Antarctica, but that's not you. When you personified, that is not your story. You came out of the darkness, out of the light into more light, and you wanted to personify, and each planet you went on, you took on different forms and got different gifts. So that's why you are blessed. You are blessed with gifts. You're not receiving any more gifts. You don't get, when people say I'm blessed, yeah, you've been blessed before you got here, but you're not receiving any more gifts. Now, upon your ascension, back up, you have to give up all these gifts and climb back the way you have to ascend the way you descended. Back up all the way in to the realm of nothingness, where you don't need courage, you don't need love, you don't need hate, you don't need skills, you don't need anything. You have to give all of those gifts back up and show that you mastered them. So that was your solar story. Your evolution was solar, from density to different levels, all the way down to the earthly realm. And on each one of these planets, the solar god met you and blessed you. You were blessed then. So don't go for the story of the fallen angels. They did that from sin. You did not fall from sin. You descended to explore and continue to move forward, and you were equipped with gifts as you did it from the solar gods. All right. Today is Apex Solar 1 born day, so I'm gonna just chill right now, and I just wanted to give y'all that. All right. So that was the story of the evolution, real quick. But I'm gonna do an hour show on it because we do got the time now. This is my projector that I've been had, but I didn't want to. I told you I didn't want to use it, but now I'm going to get funky with it. Once I can give y'all visuals, it's going to be a monster, man. All right. So that's the solar evolution story, man. You came out of light, and you were curious, and you, let's just say, metamorphosized down and down and down. And each planet you got to, you received gifts, okay, throughout the universe. You didn't fall from grace like in the Bible. That wasn't your story. You did not fall from grace. You didn't know sin. There is no sin. There's only trial and error. There's a mistake you might have made and your experiences. There's no sin. There's good experiences and there's bad experiences. Always remember that. The devil has taught y'all wrong. Apex Solar 1.
Hello everybody and welcome to Ancient Architects. Archaeologists have discovered new temples and standing stones at Göbekli Tepe in Turkey.
This is Göbekli Tepe.
Dubbed ground zero for human history.
This is what they didn't teach us and show us.
In July 2018, UNESCO's World Heritage Committee added the truly ancient Turkish archaeological site to the World Heritage List.
This is what the solar beings built. They show y'all what the Anunnaki built over in Egypt.
5 years before the decision was taken at the 42nd UNESCO World Heritage List Committee meeting in Bahrain. Göbekli Tepe, which translates to Potbelly Hill, is the world's oldest known megalithic structure.
The oldest.
It dates back at least 12,000 years and is considered by experts to be the world's largest temple. Although many speculate the function of the site, from ritual and agricultural to astronomical...
This is where everything comes from. This is pre-pyramids, before the Anunnaki got here. The solar beings personified, and we built megalithic monuments, not pyramids. When you see pyramids in Egypt, those are the fallen angels. This is what they don't teach you about. This predates Egypt, pyramids, the Sphinx. This predates anything on the planet. 12,000 years. The Bible only go back 6,000 years. This is 6,000 years before any Bible. You understand what I'm saying? These are the original solar beings. They didn't teach you this because here there's no pyramids. So that's how I can't be fooled. Once I see certain structures, I can put it with certain people who came down here and built.
The creators of humanity within the woo-woo world are frequently seen as the Anunnaki.
Y'all, this is my man, Cliff High.
These group of individuals that came on down and gave us...
Listen to what he say. People think it's the Anunnaki.
Who come from the sky. And they interacted with the Sumerians, and they brought in some level of knowledge, and they claimed to be our creators.
You hear that?
Now, there's a conflicting myth. The conflicting myth, very much like the one about the Anunnaki, also has historical records. So, for instance, if you go and you look at some of the writings that now constitute the Bible, and you look at it in their original languages, you find that some of the words we've got there are very poorly translated and were done so to create a fog in the human mind. And so there's a word in the Bible that's translated as Holy Spirit.
That means spaceship.
And in fact, that word is Rauch. And it is a very explicit word that means that which can fly over water as well as land. And it relates to the Anunnaki. Now, we have a lot of archaeological evidence that the Anunnaki actually visited us. We don't have any, and we have some archaeological evidence that says that they actually altered our genetics. But we don't have anything saying that they are, in fact, the original creators. That archaeological evidence that we have about the Anunnaki in all of its various different branches is relatively recent in history. By relatively recent, we might be talking anywhere from 200,000 to maybe 1 million years back. But prior to that, there exists evidence in archaeology of a competing creator myth. This competing creator was known as the Nummo, and the Nummo
Solar
is a name
gods.
for a species, and this species is reputed by those tenuous archaeological hints we have, most of them coming from Sanskrit, that it's reputed to be about 8 to 12 million years back at least. And
10 million
Nummo
years
would
before
predate
Anunnaki.
the Anunnaki by some serious amount of time.
All right, pause there.
Now, the Nummo.
He's telling you about another being before the Anunnaki. See, we only got the Anunnaki story through the Bibles and everything we growing up on, all this religion stuff. That's the devil. It's the fallen angels information. I'm trying to take people way before that to find out what I'm talking about. Who are you talking about, Apex? And take y'all to these original beings. Today is my born day. I can't get into it, but look for a show that I'm going to put up, and it's going to say, it's going to be a deep explanation of the solar evolution. I'm going to really get into it, all right? I'm going to really get into it, but I got to go because today is my birthday. Got to get out of here, man, y'all. I hope y'all appreciate that right quick. Today my B-Day, man.
I appreciate what you did about the lesson, man. I really do. That's some real important, powerful shit that we need to hear, man.
I'm gonna do that in its entirety, but I had to go. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna do that in its entirety. The day the God born day, I'm ready to go to the mall. Got a lot of gifts. I thank y'all. I just went to my postman box, my UPS. Got a lot of gifts. I'm gonna go spend some money, do some things. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna go to the mall. It's birthday money right here. What we got here?
Big baller.
We're gonna go spend a little of this. I'm gonna go get a couple of pair of boots with this. Spend all of this right now in the mall. It's about a stack. Then I'm gonna come back, put some real money in my pocket.
Alright,
Go
alright.
out with the wife, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I feel you.
1,000, man. Love everybody. Apexxology. Look for that extended show coming up, alright?
Alright.
Alright.